All right, here we go. Happy Seed Saturday, Seed Haul Saturday, whatever we're calling it. It is Saturday. Today, of course, we're going to talk about seeds, guys. That's all we ever talk about, isn't it? Seeds and thermal masses. But I got some of the seeds out here. Let's see who we're going to talk about today. Alright, so today we're going to talk about nature and nurture seeds. If you guys remember the video we did on them over here, they are a Michigan company. They source all their seeds very regional, so they're regional seeds that are good for our zone, maybe not necessarily for Texas or something like that, but they are very good up here in the north. So I actually had a lot more of these, but I sent a lot of them out in the seed swap because my last two stops were in the northern areas. So I wanted to make sure they got some of these, regionally adapted seeds. I'll pick those up in a minute. So if you remember when I did the review, another thing I really was impressed with is that they listed all the places that they source their seeds from, and that's only half of it they actually grow on their farm here in Michigan. So really appreciate people who are growing the seeds that they're selling. A lot of places will source seeds and they'll just sell those. The fact that they're putting in all that work is just extra to me. I really love that. So let's talk about all of these wonderful seeds that I got. All right, so I always save the best for last, which is usually the tomatoes. So let's start with something that's not a tomato and see if I can hook you guys long enough to watch to the end of the video to see the really awesome tomato varieties they have. So I got some greens to start with, guys, and I bought these Oscoska Hardy mustard greens. How can you go wrong with mustard greens? A little spice to your greens when you have your greens. I got some Joker lettuce, was something I never really heard of before, and I really like greens. I eat greens a lot. If I would just eat them all the time. Good King Henry, I mentioned this in the other video. I've been trying to grow that myself for a long time, and I've had very bad luck with it. So I'm really hoping having some regionally adapted seeds to my area is really gonna up my possibility of growing that. It's an English plant. It's not really popular here yet, but all parts of this thing are edible. The shoots, the flowers, the leaves, everything. So it's one of those greens that is like a survival type green, but definitely something you would want. And then another thing I got, now this isn't necessarily greens, it's kind of a root crop, but greens also because you can eat all your radish leaves if you didn't know that. This is a watermelon radish. Possibly the sweetest, best radish you'll ever eat in your life. So definitely had to pick up some of those. I buy those a lot. I got tons of those. I like to swap them out. It's something that people don't normally grow normally. So when it comes in the seed swap envelope, people see it and they're interested. They usually take it out. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to accomplish with it, is try to introduce you to a lot of new varieties and a lot of new companies. Whew, all right. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. It's actually super duper warm in the greenhouse today. We're over 50 today. Really awesome. Finally getting some super nice warm temperatures inside the greenhouse. It's snowy and cold outside, but in here it's almost spring and summer. And actually when I look over and I got my greens going in a little bed down here, they're very small still, but it's really awesome to see them. And spinach has actually went through all winter, and it's still green and growing in this greenhouse. So everything's doing pretty good. I'm pretty happy about it all. What do we got next? We got green finger cucumber. That's another one I had never heard of. Really interesting to me. I like cucumbers. I like to grow a lot of them. So something different I'd never had before. I'm going to give it a go. Probably only plant one or two of some of these cucumbers. We've got a lot of different cucumbers this year. But let's get into the melon. So I got this melon called the Emerald Gem. If you guys remember, I talked about it a little bit. It is a melon that was kind of grown here in Michigan over on the west side of the state. So it's a very small, I don't know what you say, high producing melon, a very small high producing melon. It's the color of it is kind of like a cantaloupe when you cut it open. I don't know what the flavor is because I've never had one, but I was really interested in it because it talked about how good it was for like urban areas. I can trellis it, having a smaller melon on it. I think they're only like 2 to 3 inches or something. They're or 2 to 3 inches pounds. The pounds, 2 to 3 pounds. So they're pretty small melons. They can actually trellis and hang by themselves. They won't be too heavy. It won't be like trying to grow a watermelon on my trellis system. So very good melon for using on a trellis. Another thing I got was these pole beans, the Potawatomi pole beans, or they're lima beans actually, and that's a Native American bean that's been passed around from generation to generation to generation to generation. These guys are the only people I've seen that carry it, and it's from this area up in this region. So if you're interested in things that come from this area that other places are not carrying, that was really cool. I found that, and I just, that and the melon, and then also what we're going to talk about next is one of these tomatoes is also another, you know, Michigan, Detroit type fruit that I was super excited about. Oh, don't you just love seed hauls, especially when you get into tomatoes, because that is what drives a lot of gardeners. It's like the one thing you eat and you're like, that makes me want to be a gardener. You get a fresh garden tomato, it really changes a lot of things in your life. It really does. It changes your life. Your life views, everything just changes after you've had your first garden tomato. So I got a few. I got a blush tomato, just kind of a big slicer type tomato. I really like slicers. You got to have some of those. I got this Centennium Sunrise, kind of a yellowish tomato. You guys know that I like yellow tomatoes. I like the flavor of them. I think those are superb. This is actually a cousin of the tomato. It's not necessarily a tomato, and that's the Aunt Molly's ground cherry. I got a few different seeds from companies for these. I'm really excited about growing them this year. I can't wait to have them. I know the kids, if they're as good as everybody says, as advertised, I know those kids are going to eat them up like crazy. Just a garden candy. And I mean, I can't blame them. I love garden candy too. Anything I can get my hands on out here. Are you guys ready now for the very last one? We've talked about it ad nauseum. I think I've posted 3 different videos that I mentioned this in it. But this is the early Detroit tomato. And, yeah, it's kind of an old heirloom that's sort of the do-all of the tomato world. They say it's good for slicing, they say it's good for canning, your sauces, anything you want to do with this tomato, it seems it's possible. And, well, when it comes to anything Detroit-wise, I'm going to be on it. Just really very cool. I've talked about it. I love the history of the city of Detroit, my state that I live in, you know, and a lot of different things that happen with it. I like the, when I see things that are, you know, native to this area or whatever, just like the DM Ferry Company. I talked about them a little bit, being the world's largest seed company at one point in time before they merged with Morse and became the Ferry Morse Company that we know today. I might do a video on that. A lot of people said, well, not a lot, a handful of people. A handful of people said they're as big a garden nerd as I am and might be interested in a video about that. So it might be coming. We'll see. But yeah, these are the haul that I got. It's not super large. I will probably go back there again at some point in time and get some more. There were some other things on there that were very regional. There were some like Wisconsin seeds, Ohio seeds, Michigan seeds, and those seeds are just seeds that have been passed down from generations in those states in that area. So I really loved all the stuff that they had on their website. And there was definitely more stuff I was interested in, but this is all I ended up getting the first go around. But if I do go back, I'll probably get a few more of these early Detroit tomatoes because I want to start passing those around and try to get them going a lot of different areas. I think that'd be super fun to kind of be like the helper in bringing that tomato and making it popular again. It used to be pretty big in the 50s and 60s, and it just kind of died out of favor. Alright, well there we go. I hope that one didn't bore you guys. I hope we blew through it pretty quickly. Just like doing these little seed haul videos for you to show you the things that I bought from these different websites I've been promoting, trying to get you directed toward, and just sharing some of my thoughts on why I would pick some of the stuff I got and what I'm excited about the most from those places. And all in all, just showing you a seed haul, because who does not love seeds? I love them. I gotta talk seeds all the time. If anybody wanted to talk seeds, I could probably sit down and just chat about seeds for a long time. They are one of the main arteries of the heart of gardening and homesteading. So if you think about a heart having all these different arteries that go into it, there's like main ones, right? You got your main arteries, your soil, your seed, and your hard work and perseverance. I guess that's what they are. I don't know what they really are. I don't know what they really would be, but to me, that's it. Soil, seeds, and hard work and perseverance. So hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, be bold and grow bold, and I'll see you guys all in the very next video.